is Monday, March the 20th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today evening update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, a cabinet minister in the Friendly Stewart administration is suggesting that his government stop burying its head in the proverbial sand and acknowledge that there's a disquiet across the country with them. The controversial Minister of Industry, Commerce, International Business and Small Business Development, Donville Innes, also told his ruling Democratic Labour Party during a St. Peter branch meeting to get its house in order in preparation for the general elections constitutionally due next year.
So I expect over the next couple of weeks, we can't wait to know annual conference. Over the next couple of weeks, that we will affirm all 30 candidates to the party. So we can all take to the highways and byways to the story. But more importantly, just as important, that we're able to craft the right message. I can tell you, I don't bury my head in the sand. There is a disquiet in this society with us as a government. And when I said recently that I am not ignoring the march, I meant it, and I will say it again. Other people who have a different perspective can give it, but I'll give it mine. Because when I look at the clips, I saw people marching who 5 years ago marched on behalf of the Democratic Labour Party. So I have to ask myself, why are they marching against us? And what can we do to get them back on our side? Every vote counts.
A warning from the island's Town Planning Society that a recent High Court decision to bypass the Chief Town Planner in the processing of beachfront and agricultural land applications and place the authority in the hands of the Prime Minister will further frustrate direct investment in Barbados. Secretary of the Society, Kim Penfold, says the judgment by Madam Justice Jacqueline Cornelius would worsen planning delays, threaten the economy, and grind the system to a halt.
The problem is that this judgment stops the Chief Town Planner from dealing with major applications in his office, where the decision maker for those applications is the Prime Minister. That means the big applications on beachfront property or for subdivision of big tracts of agricultural land. Instead, he's having to send them straight to the Prime Minister's office, where there are no qualified planning staff to deal with them. And already we know there are at least 10 applications held up in this way. We also know that the civil servants and the Chief Town Planner are all very frustrated themselves at this situation. The judgment in the case tried to be helpful in some ways. It said that decisions need to be made quickly, which is fine. And it called for greater transparency, which is something that the Barbados Town Planning Society has been calling for a long time. The net effect, however, is to cause more delays on important planning applications for major developments. And we'd like to see this situation resolved as soon as possible. There's a problem in providing resources to the Prime Minister's office, and there's a problem in that the judgment hasn't been appealed yet. We'd like to know that the government is appealing the decision, because at the moment it's leaving the whole situation in a state of chaos.
The Royal Barbados Police Force has been plunged into mourning following the loss of one of its own. A pall of sadness hangs over the force at the sudden death last night of Acting Inspector Richard Alfonso Critchlow, a veteran of 41 years service. The 62-year-old police officer, who was a patient at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital at the time of his death, was attached to the Central Police Station. Acting Police Commissioner Tyrone Griffith has expressed condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues. A 47-year-old Strathclyde St. Michael man is critical at this time after being shot multiple times about the body just after midnight last night. Brian Cumberbatch was shot while at Fairfield Main Road, Blackrock. Police are also investigating another shooting that happened around 9:45 last night at Weeksland, Goodland in St. Michael. As a result, 21-year-old Devon Best of Bank Hall sustained a gunshot to his left arm. He was treated at the QEH and discharged. A mass casualty, meanwhile, situation was activated this morning following a two-vehicle smash-up that resulted in 18 people being injured. The accident, which happened along Black Rock Main Road just after 6 a.m., involved a minibus driven by 47-year-old Anderson Squires of Oxnard, St. James, and a lorry driven by 68-year-old Tony Clark of Fixed Village, also in St. James. The lorry driver had to be freed from his vehicle by fire officers. He is said to be in critical condition but stable. His injuries involved multiple fractures to both legs. 16 passengers on the minibus complained of pain to the neck, back, and abrasions to the body. The minibus driver sustained a cut to his forehead and abrasions to his arm. The minibus driver and passengers were treated initially on the spot. A 21-year-old female was also taken to the QH after complaining of dizziness and pain to the body. 2 fire tenders with 9 officers, 3 ambulances, personnel from the Barbados Defense Force, 3 doctors and 4 nurses responded to the emergency call to treat the injured. In a separate accident at Welchman Hall, St. Thomas, a student of the Granley Adams Memorial Secondary School is nursing injuries to her left shoulder, head, left side, and left ankle. The condition of the 13-year-old girl, Glendine Grace of Bryan Road, Welchman Hall, is not known. The man who will challenge National Union of Public Workers President Akani McDowell at next month's elections has declared his intention to scrap the 23% salary increase being demanded by the McDowell administration. Deputy General Treasurer Roy Greenidge tells Barbados Today that level of wage hike would be taken off the table if he was successful in his bid for the leadership of the union at the April 5th poll.
It was worked out statistically, but we have lost a lot of ground over the years. It is 8 years now that we haven't had a salary increase, and despite the fact that I would like a salary increase, most of the members, if not all, would like a salary increase, we still have to think of the future. In 1991, we took a pay cut. We went negative. It is our hope that the country will survive. We don't need to be 23,000 civil servants. I agree. We have households and it spreads, okay? But at the same time, I don't think that we would like to see ourselves in a position where our future generation will suffer as a result of a ridiculous, or I don't want to say unscrupulous, but unreasonable demand.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper. Only $2.25, $2.20. Who? For what? That's the bear stale news. I don't read about that on Barbados Today since last night. That can't only care do. $2.20. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. Jamaicans are facing a serious shortage of bed space at the island's public hospitals. Long waiting time is also compounding the situation.
Meanwhile, persons say a shortage of beds is forcing seriously ill patients to stay in chairs and on benches. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Winston Delahaye says he does not expect that this will change in the short term.
Hopefully inadequate numbers. Hospitals have done the best they can by fitting beds in and between beds. However, somewhere like APH, for example, if they had 100 extra beds, they wouldn't be physically where to put them. And it holds true for many other hospitals in the country. Very unfortunate. It means that persons who should be, for example, admitted to a ward, let's say you've been seen in a casualty area, you're determined that your illness warrants admission.
And on the international scene, FBI Director James Comey said for the first time today that the Bureau is investigating whether there was any coordination between the Trump campaign and Moscow while Russia was interfering in the presidential election. Comey also delivered an implicit rebuke to the President Donald Trump, saying that he had no information to support claims by the president that he was wiretapped on the orders of the predecessor, Barack Obama.
Tonight, FBI Director James Comey for the first time publicly confirming that the FBI is investigating alleged links between Russia and associates of the Trump campaign, an investigation that began last July.
The FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts.
In a rebuke to the president, Comey said there is no evidence to support the president's claim that former President Obama had, quote, wires tapped inside Trump Tower.
I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.